Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Most Motion Show. My name's Sarah Pitts, I'm an injury prevention specialist and I am working towards getting sporting injury to be a thing of the past. So today we're going to look at knee pain because Sarah wants to know how to prevent knee pain. So in my experience, knee pain comes from various places. It's usually the internal rotation of the thigh bone, which means tight adductors and tight hip flexors. But there's various stages to the injury prevention process. One is unwinding the tightness, and two is taking the joint through a full range of motion. Now it's really funny because the movements that we do here at Most Motion can help you do both of those things together, and then the third thing is to strengthen your new range of motion, which you can do with bigger movements, more whole body stuff. So what we're going to do is show you a movement just now. I'll move back so you can see, and we're going to watch my hip here, okay? So just kneeling in this position, I'm not overstretching my hip, I'm not trying to push it to the end of my range of motion. I'm just in a nice comfortable position so I can feel a bit of a stretch, but nothing huge, okay? My mum calls this movement airplane arms because we're going to start like this and then we're going to move the arms or move the upper body around, but we're going to add that in a second. So what I want you to do is focus on the area of my hip here, okay? And all I'm going to do is take it sideways. So first of all, I'm going to go towards my other leg, which is the easiest way for my hip to open. It's going to stretch all the adductors in here, and then I'm going to take it the opposite way. Now, it's really important with this movement that we don't allow the brain to cheat, okay? When you've gone this way a long way, oftentimes you'll think you've gone that way quite a long way and you've actually only come back to center. So it's sometimes a really good idea to do this in front of a mirror so you can see what's happening, okay? So if we go this way first and then go the other way, what I'm looking to do is push the outside of my hip way outside my knee so that all down the outside of my hip and the outer thigh, the IT band, gets stretched there, okay? So just working it in its biggest range of motion, okay? I'm not trying to do anything huge. I'm not trying to achieve anything. All I'm doing is asking my brain to follow this range of motion through my joint, okay? If at any point I feel uncomfortable or apprehensive, then my body will tighten up because my brain is trying to protect that movement, okay? If that happens, let's say I have a smaller range of motion like this, okay, then I can start to maybe do it slightly differently. If I wanted to, I could rotate through here to try to unwind that tissue, but to get my brain into the idea that there's no problem with my hip joint, because the hip joint often rotates in, the leg bone rotates in, and the tightness comes through the inside through here, okay? So by allowing the hip to go that way, we're lengthening sartorius, we're asking it to stop pulling the thigh bone into that rotation, okay? Now, like I said, I'm just going to change sides, so we're not doing the same thing all on one side, because that would leave us wonky, and although wonkiness is common, it's not suitable, especially when it comes to joint function, okay? So now we've got the idea of getting the hip to go all the way to the outside. What we're going to do is add the arms in because that will help to challenge the brain into coordinating that joint movement with other parts of the body, and that's what the brain does best, okay? If we isolate this movement or we isolate one particular area of the body and we try to make it function differently by itself, the brain doesn't really know how to coordinate that once it has to do it as part of the rest of the body, okay? So by just using the entire body, we are asking your brain to coordinate this all of the time. So I'm going to change sides again, then we're going to add in my mum's aeroplane arms, okay? Now be careful of this bit because your body will want to cheat and you will do this with your arms rather than moving your body, okay? So we're going to stick the hip out to the side, and if your hand happen to touches the ground, fine, okay? If it doesn't, don't worry about it. So when you go the other way, now I've got to stretch up through here as well as through my hip, okay? And again, we're just not spending any time at all on staying in this position, okay? We're not trying to add a stretch. We're just teaching the brain that it's okay to move the joint through this range of motion. And just by having your arms out, it gives you a reason to push your hip that way a little bit more. Okay, so again, let's do it the other side. Start the easy way first and then go the other way. Okay, so you get to a point and your body doesn't want to go anymore, you can't tilt naturally, that's when we start to cheat and do this just to reach the floor. So the floor is not the goal, moving the hip is the goal. Okay, now you will find a lot of different movements for your hips, your adductors, and that internal rotation of the thigh bone that I said before in your free mostmotion account. And if you want to go there and grab those videos, there's probably 8 or 9 different videos in those 3 bits that I suggested. If you want to go and grab those videos, you can do that for free following the link in the description. So don't forget to let me know how you get on with those. If this is an issue for you or you've never done that exercise before, let me know. And if you've got any questions, you can email me, sarah@mostmotion.com, and maybe we'll be answering your question next time on the show. Thanks for watching.